Hey everybody, this is Ryan Sewell with Mike Patton Honda in LaGrange, aka the Plaid Preacher. Sitting here with one of my sales managers, Corey Vaughn. A couple questions have been brought to our attention. My aunt actually wanted to know some advantages and disadvantages of using your credit union when financing a vehicle. So we're going to actually ask a professional and get his opinion.
He uses that term loosely.
So Corey, what's the major advantage of using your credit union when financing an automobile?
For a lot of customers, the biggest advantage really, it comes in the form of an approval. Sometimes if you've got a lot of history with a specific lender, not necessarily a credit union, but maybe a local bank or something like that, they will be a little more giving because they know your history versus a traditional lender that we may use in one of our lending institutions. So a lot of times, if you have very limited credit or maybe have had some recent issues with your credit, a credit union or a local bank will look a little more favorably on you because they know your history, they know you as a person, and they kind of look past just the black and white of a traditional car loan.
Great.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right, Corey, what's the major disadvantage when using your own credit union?
I wouldn't say there's a major disadvantage. There are a couple. Traditionally, if you're in good credit standing, typically the lenders that we use can usually offer a better interest rate than your credit union. It also can make the paperwork a little bit cleaner. You know, if you use a lender that we have or we provide, American Honda Finance or somebody like that, you know, once you leave here with the paperwork signed, you know, your work basically with the car loan is finished. If you have a credit union, they may require a little bit of extra paperwork, and then certainly would have to get the check processed on their end and sent to us. Credit unions in general sometimes can have some fine print that may also cause some problems with a car loan down the line. Collateralization of credit sometimes can cause an issue, and it could also limit the ability to borrow later if your line of credit with that credit union is extended on a car. You may get in an emergency where you need a personal loan, and that may also affect it. Again, those aren't major disadvantages. The ones that we typically see, though, is just in the form of a lot of times the manufacturer or even some of our lenders, because we do such a large volume of loans with them, can typically give the best rate available on a loan.
So one of the things that I usually get with a customer is they say, I know I'm getting a very good rate with my credit union. Now, is that always true that they're just going to get a better rate with their credit union?
Well, no, like we talked about a little bit before, usually that is not the case. However, and really one of the nice things about doing business here at Mike Patton is having that information when you come in is an advantage for you as a customer. So any of my friends or family that ask me, you know, how should I buy a car, you know, one part of a car purchase that people don't necessarily focus on is the loan. A lot of times people will focus on price or maybe what their trade is worth, but the loan is probably the easiest place for, you know, a traditional car dealer to, you know, take advantage of the situation. If you're completely focused on price and you don't know what a good interest rate would be or what interest rate you may qualify for, you know, paying an extra 1 or 2% over the life of a loan could cost you a lot of money. Now, obviously, we have a good relationship with our lenders, and we can usually get a very aggressive rate. But if you know as a buyer ahead of time what rate you qualify for, you kind of protect yourself from not having that be an issue. Now, one thing that with two of the three brands that we have Ford, Honda, and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. The domestic brands sometimes will have extra incentives tied into financing with their lending institution. A lot of times those are also with a very good interest rate, but you may pick up an extra $500 or $1,000 by financing with Ford Credit or with Chrysler Capital Bank to kind of secure that loan. They'll also give you a little bit of extra money. But the biggest, I guess, advantage for a customer, if you were to get pre-qualified at a credit union at a specific interest rate, it may not be the best that you qualify for, but you know ahead of time that you won't have to worry about getting an interest rate higher than that.
Well, that actually is very good because it brings up my next question. A lot of questions that I get from customers are, will I miss out on additional warranties or incentives when I finance through my credit union?
Many credit unions will allow their customers to finance some, you know, aftermarket products such as gap insurance or a maintenance plan or, you know, a warranty like you said in this case. A lot of times, though, I guess really some of the time, the credit union have their own warranties that they offer, and of course, one of the things that we try to not do, which is why we accept money from anybody. So if you have a credit union or a personal check or whatever, obviously it would be disadvantageous for us to not accept that loan, even though it's not one of our banks. But credit unions sometimes don't feel the same way. Now, we know as a car dealer, we have mechanics and everything here. The warranties that we have and we provide are backed and they're accepted anywhere in the nation. So we would be able to finance that with any of our loans. So the short answer is you wouldn't miss out on it because you still have the opportunity to buy it. But there is a chance that your credit union will not allow you to finance, I guess, an outside service contract, sometimes also called an extended warranty. They won't allow you to finance that in their loan. So if that's something you want, if you want a little extra security long-term mechanically in the car, it's certainly something worth considering when you go out and buy and look at where you borrow the money.
Okay.
All right, well, I think that's all the questions that Ryan has now. And again, if there's anything, anybody watching this comes up, please leave something in the comments section. This is Ryan Sewell, also known as the Plaid Preacher. His website, phone number, and email address are going to be at the bottom of the screen here. If you would like to talk to me or ask me a question, my phone number here at the dealership is 706-298-6951. And I'll also have my email address at the bottom if there's anything else you need. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.